In other words, is life planned out for us, or do we set our lives in motion, causing things to happen, good or bad? One thing is for sure, be careful what you wish for.
Whoa.
We open our story in the Whites' living room in England. It is cozy and bright inside with a fire. We hear noises of rain and an occasional thunderclap. Mr. White and Herbert playing chess, while Mrs. White knits by the fire. By the way, you should know that in England, American dollars are called pounds. Outside, the night was cold and wet, but inside the small parlor, the blinds were drawn and the fire burned brightly. Father and son were playing chess.
Hark, the wind is howling out there.
It's not looking too good for you, is it, Dad?
Could you please be quiet? I'm trying to concentrate. Boy, it's really howling out there.
I hear it too.
He won't show up on a day like this.
Maybe, maybe not. Dad! Mace!
That's what I can't stand about this. When it gets so stormy out at night, the roads will just get flooded and no one will show up.
Maybe. Never mind, dear. Maybe you'll win the next game.
Sounds like someone is here.
Hey, Sergeant Major Morris. This is my wife. This is my son, Herbert. I didn't think you'd show up on a cloudy, stormy night like this.
Storm? This is nothing. Imagine being held up in Bombay during monsoon season. Now, there are some storms, let me tell you.
Did you live in India a long time, Sergeant Morris?
He went away for like 20 years and worked in the army. He was like Herbert's age. Both me and him worked in the warehouse.
Well, time does fly, doesn't it?
Well, I sure do want to go to India perhaps to see those old temples and Bakurs performing miracles.
Nah, you're better off here, young man.
Well, I'm sure you have great stories to tell. The places you saw and the people you met.
He has some fun stories to tell. What is that one you were telling me about earlier about like a monkey paw or something?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
A monkey's paw?
Well, it's something to do with magic, I guess.
Magic!
It looks like a regular paw, but all shriveled.
What's so special about it?
It had a spell put on it by an old fakir, a holy man in India. He wanted to show that fate could rule people's lives, and that anyone who interfered with them would be sorry. He put a spell on the paw so that 3 people could make 3 wishes from it.
Well, why don't you wish on it, Sergeant Major?
I have.
And did you really have your 3 wishes granted?
I did.
Has anybody else wished on it?
Yes, the first person had 3 wishes. The first 2, I'm not sure what they were, but the third one was for death. That is how I got the paw.
If you could have another 3 wishes, would you wish?
So if you had all 3 of your wishes, then that paw is no use to you. Why do you keep it?
Well, I tried selling it, but no one would buy. It has caused a lot of mischief.
Well, if you could have another 3 wishes, would you wish?
I don't know. I don't know. Whoa! Just let it burn!
If you don't want to have it, give it to me, Morris.
I will not! I threw it on the fire on purpose. And you would be sorry for not throwing it back in the fire.
Come on, how do you use it?
Well, you hold up your right hand and close your eyes and wish out loud. But I'm telling you, you will not like the consequences.
Sounds like a fairy tale to me. Wish for a few extra pair of hands for me. I have so much to do around here.
I wish.
Wait! Before you wish, please think of something sensible, but I do not want to be here to see it.
The monkey's paw is forgotten for a moment. The whites pass the hour by listening eagerly to tales of Morris's adventures abroad. The night grows darker, and the storm outside gets stronger. The night comes to a close, and Morris and the whites part ways. Morris leaves without the monkey's paw.
Well, that Morris is quite the storyteller. He almost had me believing about that monkey paw thing.
I hope you gave that disgusting thing back to him.
I tried to, but he couldn't take it. He told me to get rid of it.
What? Get rid of it and give up our chances of being rich, happy, and famous?
I don't know what to wish for. I have all I want right here.
Well, you want to pay off the mortgage on the house, right? Well, what's for 200 pounds? That should do it.
This is ridiculous. No shame for trying, though. I wish for 100 pounds.
Ah!
It moved!
I saw it too!
No, I must have imagined it.
Yes, dear, you definitely must have imagined it.
No, it definitely moved. I felt it. Never mind. I'm alright.
Why did we listen to his nonsense anyway? Wishes can't be granted in real life, and how could wishing for 200 pounds hurt you anyway? Well, I'm going to bed. I bet you'll find that money tied up in a big bag in the middle of your bedroom. And a big old monkey watching you as you pocket those 200 pounds. I'm going to bed. Good night. Come on, dear. Let's go to bed.
As Mr. White As Mr. White sits by the fire, contemplating his wish, he begins seeing visions in the flames.
Stop it. Stop. Stop. There are no swimming heads in that fire. Stop it. You're imagining. Don't make me pour water in here.
The storm has passed, and the next day is a sunny one. The fears of last night seem to have left.
Plenty of bills so far, but no check for 200 pounds. Oh, Herb will have to be funny to laugh about when he comes back from the factory.
But I swear, that thing moved in my hand.
Oh, you must have just imagined it. There's people outside. There's two people outside. Someone from the factory and a man in a business suit. They can't whether they decide to come in or not.
asked to come see you. I come from Mom Megan's.
Yeah, I'm with him, Mrs. White.
Has anything happened? Is Herbert hurt?
No, dear. Don't make assumptions. I'm sure they haven't brought bad news.
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Is he hurt?
Badly, but not in any pain.
Oh, thank goodness.
Herbert, he was caught in the machinery.
Kind of machinery. You're having a son.
The company conveys their sincere sympathy with you in your great loss. I hope you understand that I am just doing my job, and I am supposed to tell you that Mom Megan's disclaim all responsibility and admit no liability. However, in consideration of your son's work, they would like to give you a certain sum in compensation.
A certain sum? How much?
200 pounds.
No! No! No!
Days passed. Mr. and Mrs. White buried Herbert. It all seemed to happen quickly. The house became silent. No more chess, no more joking. Mr. and Mrs. White sometimes hardly exchanged a word. Their days were wearisome and lonely.
Come back to bed. It's cold out there.
It's cold out there for Herbert. The paw! The monkey's paw!
What?
You didn't get rid of it, did you?
No, it's upstairs. Why?
I only just thought of it now. Why didn't I think of it sooner? Why didn't you think of it sooner?
Thought of what?
We only had one wish granted. We still have 2 more wishes.
Was one wish not enough?
No. We had 1 wish. We already wasted 1 wish. Why not waste the other 2? Go get the paw now.
You are insane.
I want to see him alive again. I want to see Herbert.
You don't know what you're saying.
We had the first wish granted. Why not the second?
It was coincidence.
Go get it now!
He's been gone for 10 days, and besides, I really did not want to tell you this. He was mangled in the machinery. I could only recognize him by his clothes. If you couldn't see him, then imagine what he's gonna look like now.
Wish him back. Do you think I would fear my own son? Wish! Wish, I say!
This is foolish, Enrique.
Wish!
I wish my son alive.
What was that?
Just a mouse. Just a mouse in the wall, probably.
It's Herbert! It's our son!
No, don't let it in.
Herbert, I'm coming! Herbert, I'm coming!
I wish!
Alright, we want to introduce our cast. So if everyone could please get on stage if you are an actor or a lovely narrator. Alright, so our amazing narrator with much confidence was Emily. Lasabian played the role of Mrs. White. If you didn't recognize Lasabian yet. The role of Mr. White was played by Isaac. role of Sergeant Major Morse was played by Sam. Herbert, Mr. and Mrs. White's only child, was played by Mitchell. A friend of Herbert's at the factory where he works, stranger number 2, Grace. The representative from the factory at Mall of Megan's from where Herbert worked, stranger number 1, Ryan. And we would also like to note that Chris Segarra did have the role of the fakir, but since he wasn't able to be here today, Ryan was the understudy and stepped in, so an additional applause for Chris and Ryan. And just today, Mr. Schullery, during our final rehearsal, just started tinkering on the piano to add to the element of fear and flickering of the lights. We did have maybe 1 or 2 in duet, that was cool. Mr. Schullery. When we started working on this, legitimately practicing on the stage like 2.5 weeks ago, keep in mind we don't do anything after school or on the weekends. So if you did hear some whispering backstage, that stage direction was from Mrs. Griffith or myself. And we normally don't need a whole lot of that because we have a lot of time usually, but this was a quick decision to just go with this story instead of doing something else. So they worked really hard and they did a phenomenal job. So happy Halloween!